All right, we are live. Let's get Kara up in here. What's up, Kara? How's it going?
What's up, guys? I'm excited to be here.
Excellent. Well, welcome. If this is the first time joining us, welcome to Getting Past the Gatekeeper podcast with your hosts, yours truly, and Kara Dennison, where we share, each week, Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, live in the Facebook group on YouTube. You might be listening to us somewhere else every Thursday to help you navigate the current job market to land your dream job. And before we get started in introducing us, if you don't know us, a couple cool things. If you're in our Facebook group, we have a pinned post where we, in celebration of hitting 1,000 members in this group, okay, we have given you access to free resources of how to get your resume straight, how to interview more effectively, and most importantly, a link to our on-demand masterclass where hundreds of people registered, where we basically gave away the 5 secrets, right? Don't tell anyone else, the 5 secrets you need to know to land the job you love and get the money that you deserve in the marketplace. And if you don't know me, my name is Tim Madden. I have been a seasoned headhunter for about a decade. I've placed 5,000 people or more, or my team did, and in a lot of industries. And I've seen every single way that this job process could be broken. Carrie, introduce yourself.
Awesome. My name is Kara Dennison. I spent my career as a corporate recruiting leader, and I've reviewed over 150,000 resumes in my career. And if you don't know us, like you said, like Tim said, we are the coaches here at Executive Career Upgrades. And we are the hosts here in this group, the Executive Career Network, fastest growing career network on Facebook. Thank you guys for all making it happen. And then we also do this podcast, the Getting Past the Gatekeepers podcast. We've been featured in a couple of publications. You may have
just
heard
a few.
Just a couple of them: ABC, NBC, Fox News, USA Today. So we are super pumped to be here, and we can't wait to get into it. So, Tim, what do you say? Let's get into it.
Yeah. So questions from the group, right? Let's get this question, man. This, let's start there.
This is a good one. We got one from Kevin in the group. He says, I'm 2 weeks into job hunting after his company closed and his department, and he's feeling desperation settling in. Oh, this happens all the time. Sole income provider for his family, sent over 75 resumes and job applications. Yikes. He's gotten a few interviews, but all the positions are way below the income level that he needs. How do you handle stress of this when you're looking for your next position?
Absolutely. I was just talking to a military vet yesterday too, who has 20 years of experience. He's got a degree. He's got all this great stuff, right? But he's just got a lot of anxiety and depression. And that's what happens. Hey, going on a job process for 4 months, getting ghosted. What we're talking about today, by the way, is how to control the job search process. Not doing it correctly will add a tremendous amount of depression, anxiety, doubt in your career. So pay attention today. But hey, how do you really avoid this, right? Now, we're going to talk about some stuff non-job related, because that's what this stems from. This stems from your mind playing tricks on you. Okay. So a couple things, right? You have to wake up in the morning and inject some positive information into your brain. Here's what I recommend: The Power of Positive Thinking. If you have not read that book, it is amazing. Another thing, anytime I've had stress and anxiety in my life, it's mainly due to a couple things, right? But here's what I do. So Kevin, here's what I would highly recommend: stay away from alcohol, get some exercise in, and inject positive information into your brain. Now, let's talk about why most people struggle briefly. Why most people have this uncertainty in their career is, number one, they don't have a blueprint to follow. And number two, they haven't practiced. So think about it. If you hardly don't know what you're doing and you're getting a bunch of rejection and you don't know what you're doing wrong, how can you expect it to ever change? That's like the analogy I give all the time. I'm a military guy. So if you're a military guy, give me a thumbs up, right? I'm a field artillery officer. And here's what I know. If I'm dropped into combat and I don't know how to use my equipment, if I don't know how to fire my rifle, sight it in, reload, am I going to be scared? Yeah. So if you're going into this job search process right now and you're a VP and you've always been headhunted, or you're a director or exec, you've always been headhunted, and now you got to like do it on your own, right? And you don't have a plan, dude, I'd be scared too, right? I would be scared too. But before we talk about plans, blueprints, training, and all of that, right? Start with, how are you starting your day? If you're waking up depressed, probably going to have a depressed day. So wake up, get your body moving, right? Inject some positive information into your brain before you start the day, and maybe write some goals down. Those are the best tips I have for you, Kevin. Hopefully that helps. And download our guides and watch our masterclass, please, so you have a plan of how to do this. And today we're talking about what again, Kara? What are we talking about today?
Well, before we get into that, another thing that's really helped me, because I've dealt with stress and anxiety and things like that as well, is having a schedule for success. So having that positivity is going to be good. Waking up and knowing what your plan of action for that day is going to be. So just like Tim did, starting with some positivity, getting your mind right is definitely going to help out. And then having that schedule for success. If you're going to be applying to jobs, again, if you know us a little bit, we know that that's not the best way to get a job. So definitely have a plan of attack, and we're going to talk about some ways to do that. But having a schedule for success. So when are you going to be working out? When are you going to be eating? When are you going to be spending time with your family? And make sure that your schedule works for you. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about.
And real quick, Kara, maybe it would help them if they actually knew what a successful day looks like. So maybe we can share some little tips with you before we get started. Now, this is what we do inside of our coaching program. Bam, let me go ahead and share this. Let me throw it up in the stream. Okay, so this right here, okay? This, how can I best do it? Like this, like this. Okay, yeah, this is good enough right now. This is my day every day. If I wake up and I don't know how I'm going to have a successful day, a successful job search, you think you're going to be depressed? You think you're going to be stressed? You think you're going to be anxious? Probably. What does your day look like? When we bring on new clients into our program, we break down our day, and whether you're working or unemployed, here's what I like to say. You have 8 hours to sleep, 8 hours to work, and 8 hours to improve the quality of your life. Now, some of that time is going to be spent with family. Hey, your family does not want to spend more than 3 hours with you. Okay, your kids, if you spend an hour with them, they're going to be like, Dad, let me play my Xbox or something, right? So what are you doing with your time to make sure the quality of your life is improving every single day? I highly encourage you, take a little snip of this. This is what my day looks like, right? I figured out what works for me. Figure out what works for you. All right, Kara, let's get started.
Awesome. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about controlling the job search process, and specifically some of the common mistakes that people make in their job search that can really cost you your dream job. And some of these are kind of simple mistakes, but they're so common, and we've seen it after placing thousands of professionals in our career and helping hundreds of people land their dream job very quickly. And if you do these, you're going to start feeling really rejected, and it's going to start messing up a lot of stuff that's going up here in your mindset. So we want to make sure that we're telling you these so that you can potentially avoid them and have success in your job search and not keep feeling rejected and anxious and stressed and all of that other stuff as well. So we're going to break it down. We've got 4 really big common mistakes that people make when they're not controlling this job search.
Get a pen and paper, please.
Yep.
Get a pen and paper. Write these down. Write these down.
Write these down. And we're going to tell you exactly why this messes up your job search and how you can avoid it so that you can take control and feel better about it. Okay. Great. So the first one is relying on verbal offers to come through. Oh, man. Oh, man. Tim.
Man. I posted this on my LinkedIn, everyone, yesterday too, which, by the way, has 3,000 views. And I said, hey, if you tell someone you're going to get if you tell someone you're going to send an offer letter and to stop going on interviews, then completely ghost someone, that's not cool, bro. And I said, has this ever happened to you? Surprisingly, all of these comments, even up to the C-suite, people are saying, this happens to me all the time. Man.
We always kind of joke around, Tim and I, all the time. And we even said this on our masterclass. If we had $1 for every verbal offer that turned into a written offer by the time it was promised, we'd have about as much money to buy a Happy Meal because it just never happens. It never happens.
And sometimes it's out of the control of other people. Like sometimes the hiring manager, think about all the situations. Sometimes they do want to hire you and it is sincere, but then they have to go get approval. It was already approved, but now it's like not approved. And now they're trying to jump through all these hoops and they told you Thursday and now they don't get approval and now they're ghosting you. And now it's like, oh my God. Right. And I have a couple examples here that I wanted to share real quick. Well, Kara, do you want to go over any of this specifically or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about some examples. And first of all, before we talk about examples, I just want to talk about a little bit why this is so devastating. It just messes you up mentally because you're so excited. They're so excited. Tim, I gotta have you on my team. You're awesome. This is great. You're gonna help us improve this company. I'm gonna get you a written offer by the end of the week. You're awesome. You're gonna help us solve all these challenges, all this other stuff. You're pumped. This is the dream. This is the dream. It's awesome. I'm gonna stop interviewing. And then it never comes. We didn't lock down next steps, which we're gonna talk about in a second. And then all of a sudden, you're starting to feel like I'm a loser. I didn't do something right. They didn't want me. I'm never going to find a job. I'm going to have to take a step down. All of this stuff comes rushing in and it messes you up like hardcore because you got to that final round, man. And then what happened? And you don't know what happened. It could have been anything. Like Tim said, it could have been budget approvals. It could have been the job being restructured. And we'll talk about a couple of things. One that comes to mind is we had someone that
No. Let me tell this one, please. Let me tell the first one. I know which one you're talking about.
The 13 interviews?
No. You can tell about that one. Oh man, okay. we got a bunch. Okay, we'll share two. Okay. You get one, I get one.
Okay.
I had a guy, Jerry. Okay. This is a guy who was in our coaching program, senior level operations professional. I knew someone at PwC. I got a large network of people, right? So I knew a friend I used to recruit with in the military. I sent him to PwC, goes through the interview process. Jerry, we got to have you. Hey, we're figuring out a couple things. Don't accept anything else. Let us know, etc. Another company, we'll just go ahead and call out these companies, man. These companies. PwC in Tampa. What is wrong with you? Smartronix in Tampa. Okay. Going to go ahead and call you out. Smartronix too. Hey, we got an offer for you. A week follow-up, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And against his better judgment, we said, Jerry, they're not verbal offers. No one signed. Keep going on interviews. He canceled interviews, canceled networking events or networking conversations. 4 weeks go by. PwC said, Jerry, we're sorry. We went with an internal candidate. Other companies said, Jerry, we're sorry. Budgeting. Imagine how much would this jack this up? Imagine you think you got two in the hole. You're good. You're stopped. You're drinking a beer. You're going to play golf. You haven't done anything for a month, right? And then those get pulled. He was not doing well. We got another one for you too. This is a weird one. And don't worry. We're going to show you how to avoid this, okay? We're going to give you some ammunition.
Well, the one that I was thinking about is that things can happen all the time. Mm-hmm. So we had someone in our program went on, I think it was 13 interviews, 13 full interviews. I mean,
you tech guys, man, you want to interview everyone at the organization, all the way CTO.
Man, it's like they're like, who next? The secretary? Like, who do we have to interview to get you into this stinking company? But went on so many interviews, and the recruiter actually told him, listen, we're getting the offer put together for you. So great.
After he met with the CTO, who said, we're bringing you on.
Everyone loved him. The feedback was so positive. And then at the very last second, they restructured the job to be something completely different. And man, that just messed you up. I mean, mentally, it was really devastating just to be like, wow, I remember having this conversation with him afterwards, and he was like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? And it was literally nothing that he did wrong. Just stuff happens all the time at these companies that verbal offers don't turn into written offers. And so how can we avoid this, right? So that's what we want to make sure. And we can give you countless examples. This happens pretty much every other week in our program.
Yeah,
where verbal offers don't turn into written offers. It literally happened this week. It's happened a million times. How can we avoid this?
Yes. Right? So here's how. Okay. Lock down next steps like your life depends on it. Mm-hmm. Let me repeat that again. Lock down next steps like your life depends on it. Because here's why. Let me give you an example of this offer, and we'll just kind of run through a couple scenarios. Here's what typically happens. Kara, we love you. It's Friday. We're going to send this offer to you by Tuesday. Okay, thanks so much. Good to go. Click. No, you failed. Okay, here's what you do if you're taking notes. So Kara says, Tim, we love you. We're going to give you offer next Tuesday. First logical question. Thank you so much. Can't wait to start working here. Are you going to send it to me Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon? First question. Probably, I don't know, probably around lunchtime. Excellent. Mr. CEO, CTO, VP, etc. Here's what I'm going to do. You're going to send it to me in lunch, right? I'm going to send you, right, a calendar invite for 3 o'clock so we have a time to reconnect, right? So that we can go over the acceptance of my offer, right? And then, of course, maybe throw in some negotiation. But the important thing is locking down next steps includes I send a calendar invite to someone, they have accepted it, and I know this is a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised how much this happens. You have their phone number, okay? So we have a calendar time, a phone number after. If you do not do this, because what happens? Now you have something to look forward to. The next step isn't they're sending an offer Tuesday. No, because it never happens. But if I have a time set where I'm going to reconnect, you have a much better chance of that offer coming. Additionally, if it doesn't come, you have a reconnect with the decision maker to say, hey, John, what's up? I thought you were going to have my offer. And then you could kind of work through the objections then. If you don't do this, it's going to be painful because if they don't get a hold of you on Tuesday, man, we already talked about all that stuff, right? It does not feel good. Kara, share a couple other tips with them.
Well, before we get into the next mistake, which is not locking down next steps, the other thing to avoid this, don't stop going on interviews. Please, I beg of you, please don't stop going on interviews. Even if they say, I'm going to be getting you an offer and you lock down next steps, if you have other interviews on this table, do not cancel them. Please keep going on it. The best situation you could be in is in a multiple offer situation. That's what we want for you so that you can negotiate or leverage multiple offers and you can pick your dream job at the most ideal company for you. So whatever you do not take their word for it that a written offer is coming and cancel other interviews. Don't stop interviewing. Don't stop your activity until you sign on the dotted line and you walk in that door.
And I know what you're thinking right now. Everyone always says this to us. Who would do that, Tim? Who would do that? Literally every single person we work with says the same thing because we tell it to them on our intake call. They're like, who would do that? And yet when they get an offer, it happens every time. No, I'm going to cancel it. This one's good. Every time. So even if you're sitting there telling yourself, I love my clients, right? Hey, only someone not very bright would do that. Okay. Might just lost a client there. Okay. Remember, regardless of how you feel now, how you feel when you get the offer, until it's signed on the dotted line and it's negotiated, you do not have a job.
And regardless of how well that interview went, still keep going on other interviews. Even if it was the best interview ever, you never know what happens after you walk out that door. Okay.
Yeah. So a couple things, right? Kara loves this. She loves to say this. Well, first I'll say what I say. It's what any professional does. For instance, a recruiter calls you, okay? He says he's going to send you to the hiring manager. We'll go ahead and share some free tips and role play this with you, okay? Kara's a recruiter. She calls me and says, Tim, you're great. I love you. Everything's perfect, right? I'm sending you to the decision maker or the hiring manager. And you say, great. And you hop off the phone. Again, fail. Next logical question. Great. When are you going to send my information over? Wednesday. Awesome. When should I expect to hear back? No later than Friday. Excellent. Hey, I'm going to send you a calendar invite for the end of day Friday because, right? How many requisitions are you working on, recruiter? Oh, I'm working on 10. How many candidates each one? 10. Great. So you're working with 100 people. Well, you said I'd be good for the hiring manager, right? You want to move me forward. I just want to make sure, hey, if I get an invite for the decision maker beforehand, we can go ahead and cancel the call. And if for some reason it's not set up, then at least we have a point to reconnect. And here's what I tell people. It's just what a professional does. If you're a leader, especially at the C-suite, director, it doesn't matter. If you're any good leader, are you going to tell people when you need stuff done by? This is just what any professional does. They know clear next steps. It's not, oh, go get this done by next week. It's no, go get this done by September 24th at 4 p.m. Please have it done before then if you can. This is just what every professional does. And Kara, share your most favorite tip.
Yeah, and just to clarify, we're on the second mistake that people do is they just don't lock down next steps, right? And why I always try and drill this home is because this does them a favor, and it does you a favor too, because again, you're not dealing with these mental mind tricks that you're going to play on yourself when you're like, oh my God, it's been a week. I haven't heard from them. They must hate me. I'm a loser again. Blah, 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 all this other stuff that happens. It does them a favor too, because like Tim said, and he used very low numbers, most recruiters are dealing with 20 requisitions on average, and they have tons of people in the process. So it does them a favor by you setting a deadline for them to get back to you. And so in their mind, they're going to get it done before then, but you've set a time to reconnect with them. So they see it on their calendar. They know that they have to get their shit together in order to get it done, because you're going to be following up with them. If they don't have that deadline, it just keeps getting pushed down the hill until all of a sudden it's been weeks and weeks and weeks. You're sitting at home wondering why they don't want to hire you. All this.
What'd you do wrong?
What'd you do wrong? And now this, at least when you reconnect, if they haven't been able to get connected with the hiring manager, you at least know what's going on in the process and have a little bit of clarity. So you don't have to waste all that time worrying and all this other stuff. You get to go out and find other great opportunities and get connected with other great decision makers.
And let's be honest about most people. Most people are not good at organization. It is what it is. Hey, it is what it is. It's all good. You know, we're all friends here inside the ECN, right? Most people aren't good at organization. Okay. The minute, if you were on our masterclass, the minute you assign responsibility of your job search in the hands of someone else is the moment that you lose. Mm-hmm. Who wants to assign responsibility? I don't want a recruiter. I don't want to assign responsibility of my career over to a recruiter or a decision maker. No, I'm in charge of my career. Okay. I'm in charge of my career. Yes. So close the deal while they're sold on you. If the recruiter is just getting excited, right, because you had an effective interview, use that to your advantage. Hey, I want to partner with you, right? You said I'd be good for, use this verbiage. You said I'd be good for this position. I just want to make sure we work together for the most effective strategy to make this happen, because I'm sure you're busy and so is the decision maker.
Man, this just happened recently. We had someone who interviewed with, I believe it was the CEO, or it was definitely the decision maker. They were so pumped on this guy, our client, wanted to make an offer to him, and they were all sold. It was great. The problem was that our client did not lock down the next steps. So what happens when you don't lock down the next steps, they don't close the offer in the moment while they're excited, you're excited, all this other stuff, is you walk out the door, people start questioning, is this the right thing? I don't know. Maybe we should look at more candidates, da, da, da. What happened is they went out and they found someone else that they were more excited about, unfortunately. And so what we want to do is close that deal while they're excited there. Let's sign the paperwork or get an offer or close a time where you're going to follow back up, so that we capitalize on that excitement right there. It's a simple sales tactic, so that they don't go out and look at all the other possibilities. They get the right one, which is you, which they're sold on at that moment.
Yeah, because here's exactly what happened in the situation. It was good. They were trying to solidify his comp plan. He left later that day. Those dreaded headhunters, man, pinged him. We got your guy. Here he is. He's perfect. Don't do that to yourself. Well, what's next, Kara?
Okay, so...
wait. Yeah. Maybe locking down next steps just gives you maybe a plan. like maybe a plan of action. So, you're not just giving it to, the universe, hoping and wishing things are going to work.
Yeah.
Look, you don't hope and wish yourself into success. Okay. You have a plan, you have a blueprint, you execute on it. Now, before we go up into follow-up, which is the next tip. Okay. If you're trying to lock something down and you feel uncomfortable, that's okay. That's okay. Okay. Feel uncomfortable then. I assure you it will be 10 times better than not hearing something back, wondering what you did wrong. Because I know a lot of people say, man, Tim, I don't want to be forceful, or I don't want to lock something down. Look, you can do it humorous. There's ways to role play. We do it with our clients, right? But you have to lock it down, even if it's uncomfortable. Because once you leave, I assure you, it's going to be 10 times more uncomfortable thinking that you did something wrong. Don't do that to yourself. Please, 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 please. And we know you work so hard, man, so hard to get in front of these high quality interviews, and then they fall apart. And I hate to say this, but most of the reason is typically you. It's not other people. It's you, right? Demanding success in your career and giving people an action plan of how it's going to work.
I will say about being uncomfortable, it is uncomfortable to ask these questions and lock down the next steps, but it's so much more uncomfortable emailing them every other day. When's the next steps? And then they never get back. And then
you look desperate.
Oof. Yeah.
Anyone ever done that before? Throw the comment a like, or throw the page a like, the YouTube a like. Man.
Yeah. Oof. All right. So the next mistake that people make, kind of we alluded to this, is not following up with people, or they just do it once, or not following up enough.
Following up creatively too.
Oh, man.
Just follow up. Have you heard anything? Have you heard anything? Have you heard anything? Block sender. Mark as spam. Right? That's what happens to these recruiters, guys. I'm telling you. I've trained a lot of them. Maybe if we, we'll have Mr. Ben Nader come in here, who's trained, 8,000 of them, and give some perspective. That'd be a good guess.
Right. That would be a good guess. Yeah. So following up, listen, we hear this all the time. People are like, listen, I've tapped everyone in my network. I followed up with them. No one's willing to help us or me. And Tim and I are asking like, okay, well, what was your follow-up plan? Well, I messaged them once and they won't get back to me. They don't want to talk to me. And we're like, okay. So Tim likes to say all the time that people are busy. Think about it. It's 2020, people. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. A lot of stuff. People are busy. And the people you're trying to get in contact with, if you're using any of our techniques and strategies to get in front of decision makers, they're doing a lot of stuff. They're leading big companies, big teams.
Getting sued.
You always say that.
I'm saying, man.
Getting sued in your life over here. I don't know.
If you're in a company right now, dude, someone's getting sued, dude. Come on.
But yeah, they're doing a lot. And then that's just in business. They got families. They got a phone where they're watching the news. They're reading articles.
Son's got COVID. Family members got COVID.
Social media. And Tim, how many ads do you see a day? Just an average person?
Just typically, you see 5,000 ads. Now, when I say that, I don't mean ads on Facebook. I mean, look around. If you're watching this right now, just take a look around the room. Your brain is processing everything. I got Samsung monitors. I got this water bottle, a Rode mic, a podcaster. I got car keys that are BMW. I'm looking at all this stuff. My brain is processing it. And then I'm driving and seeing everything. You have to take this into an account. And the most painful things, we have a client, his name is Shantanu. Probably one of the most successful pay increases of all time, by the way. Oh, yeah. And if you'd like to get a $167,000 pay increase, hey, we'd love to work with you, because that's what we got for Shantanu. But here's what happened. Unemployed for 6 months. Everyone comes to us saying, Tim, I don't have a network. I contacted everyone. I let people know. I gave them my resume, because we know that shit don't work. But hey, literally, I'm helping him go through his contact list and my contact list. And I said, hey, did you message this guy? He said, yeah, I messaged him one time 45 days ago. I said, dude, one time? Can we send him another message? Shantanu, thank you for messaging me. I've been meaning to get back a hold of you. We have this massive role at XYZ company, and you'd be perfect. And boom, 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 boom. One LinkedIn DM. to someone he already knew after he's been unemployed for 9 months. Do not, please, for the love of God, follow up with your people. Know how to have effective communications. Know how to network with people.
And do it and follow up the right way. Please, please follow up the right way.
That should be a whole nother segment.
That's got to be a whole nother segment. I
Yeah.
mean, for real. But especially the people that you're really dying to get a hold of with your ideal companies, you got to be creative. So many times we're seeing where people are just like, did you get my last message? Did you get my last message? Hello? Did you? And it's like, okay, just like Tim said, it's like, block, not going to talk to you. Sorry, just can't do it. And there are just so many things. These people who you're trying to get a hold of, most likely they're seen as industry leaders. They're posting on LinkedIn. If they're in our network, they're following our guys and they're posting things and they're being seen as an industry leader. Go comment on their posts. Go say, hey, send them a message. Hey, I loved your article. This is my opinion. I would love to hop on a phone call with you, and get out of the DMs. For the love of God, get out of the DMs. Oh my God. So Tim always likes to make this joke. You never marry someone through DMs, right? You have to build a relationship. So the whole point of all of your follow-up messages need to be to drive them to a phone call conversation so you can build that level of rapport. And so all of these follow-up messages need to be in order to be creative to get them on the phone call. So
yes.
What else we got to do?
Omnipresence is your only option. Well, I wanted to talk to you, Kara, about some stuff I haven't talked to you about.
Uh-oh.
Actually, it's for the good of the group too. If you are a part of this group, I would like to do this. Me and Kara are still going to try to find ways to make this happen. But the main purpose of creating this group was for you to network with other people. So maybe, I don't know, we'll figure it out over the weekend, but there's going to be a day, like every Tuesday, where we're going to make a post and you can maybe, hey, who are you trying to get a hold of? Right? Who are you trying to get a hold of? Get connected with other people that might be able to help you, and you might be able to help them. That's the purpose. Think about this. If you're unemployed right now, right? And number one, if you haven't seen our masterclass, like you haven't downloaded our guides, something's wrong, right? You haven't talked to us, maybe something's wrong. If you haven't introduced yourself in this group of 1,000 people who have literally hired, I don't even know how many people, guys, like, what's going on? We have 1,000 people here. Everyone, we specifically invite people who say they're willing to network with other people. If you're not taking advantage of this, you're crazy. So we're going to do a post like every Tuesday, get connected with other people. And I urge you to connect with at least one other person each week, at least one. Also, another special thing I didn't tell Kara about, hopefully she's not too upset. We talked last week about LinkedIn articles. We've been busy interview prepping people, so it's like a last minute. We talked about posting content. And I know one person was so excited. They're like, Kara, I posted my first post on LinkedIn. I know I was scared and I did it. So whoever that was, kudos to you.
But thank you for doing that, because I went and I commented on it. So thank you.
There you go. So we want to do what's called a LinkedIn pod, man. Maybe on Thursdays, we challenge you to make a post. And we as a community will take over LinkedIn and get your post so much visibility. Okay. But here's going to be the rules of it. We'll post some rules. If you post something, you have to comment on 2 other people's posts, regardless if you think it's crap, it's best, it's awesome, give it a thumbs up, because with the LinkedIn algorithm, just like Kara said, you can really get a lot of visibility. So I really think like we love you being here, and we're going to continue to do this podcast for everyone in the ECN, YouTube, wherever you're listening from. If you're not in the ECN, join us, right? We want you to get connected with other people. And number 2, we want you to try to become more visible on LinkedIn. So if Kara's okay with that, because I haven't okayed it with her. Okay. Cool.
I love it. I think that's great. So here's what's so amazing about that is, just like Tim said, is that I think we're going to probably have some, I haven't even talked about Tim about this. What do you say?
You're throwing something on me too?
I'm throwing something on you.
Secrets.
Here we go. You know what? I'm so pumped that this network has hit over 1,000 members. We posted in the announcements some amazing guides and resources. So just like Tim said at the top of this episode, if you're not in the network and you're listening to this somewhere else, join us. It's called the Executive Career Network on Facebook. So definitely get there. In the announcements, we have our masterclass, we have resume seekers, we have interview guide seekers, amazing things like that. I want to do an announcement where people can drop the link to their LinkedIn. And then people can network with people there.
Man, that'd be a big list, man.
That would be a big list, and people can connect, because then if people are dropping their articles, you got to be connected with people. And I love that. Every week, drop articles or posts, and we can comment on each other's, because you're right. As people comment and share and like and things like that, it blows up and makes posts viral. I think this is going to be an instant boost to everyone's network and be seen as industry leaders that you guys are. So this is awesome. I'm in. Let's do it.
Cool. So if you have questions, right, we wanted to do this one. We normally do a poll in the Facebook group each week about like, what would you guys like us to talk about? This week, I just thought it was so important talking about how controlling this process is like so vital. So if you have maybe a topic that you like us to talk about, you know, DM us, put it on this post, etc. Email us, Tim at Exec Upgrades, Kara at Exec Upgrades. Okay, we would love to talk about some topics that you guys maybe are struggling with, just to provide some insight. And every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we bring you Getting Past the Gatekeeper podcast with Tim Madden and Kara Dennison. And we hope you have a great day. Kara, any closing words?
Go kill it this week. Make sure to avoid these mistakes, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.